To my future wife, Part 4, an open letter, sleep. February 16th, 2024, 11 p.m. Dear Grace, yesterday was nearly perfect. I realize if I wrote throughout the day and record the voiceover later at night, it's like going to an open mic. Recording my voice is equally uncomfortable as performing on stage. The only difference is, through Substack, my voice is anonymous. In person / on stage, it's not. It's me. I'm not forced to use my real name on stage. David Joseph is fairly easy to say and remember. Plus, there are no other famous comedians with my name, so it's free to use. Anyway, Grace, I don't have to decide until I put my name in the hat. By then it'll be obvious what to do. I normally record sitting down, Grace, but this letter I'll record while standing. You will be my practice audience, if you don't mind. February 17th, 2024, 6:16 p.m. I think, Grace, I'm accidentally lucky. I wasn't ready to go on stage for comedy, but now I have the perfect opportunity to manage with the embarrassment of bombing this letter to you. Every time I publish this letter, I get rejected, booed off the stage. Well, maybe not booed, but nobody interacts with these posts. They are basically anonymous. No one is saying good or bad. Everyone is silent. Silence is not good for comedy. But if I'm correct, Grace, this will toughen my resolve. The more letters I post to you and read out loud, the closer I am to standing up on stage. I doubt you're reading these letters as I publish them, Grace. If you are, I'm curious why you don't respond / comment. I have no choice. Once I stand on that stage, I know I'll be addicted to the laughter. It'll never be enough. In my mind, Grace, I wonder if you are waiting there for me when I'm done. Or do you never see me perform? Where are you, Grace? Are you nearby or worlds away? February 18, 2024, 9:01 a.m. Hi, Grace. I normally don't write this early. My brain doesn't activate until the afternoon for some reason. However, if I'm going to use Rob's video as inspiration, I have no excuse for not writing, especially to you. Rob is the only homeless person I follow on social media. One sad story seems to be enough to keep me incentivized. I watch a number of channels who help the homeless, but listening to additional stories like Rob's, where nobody is helping him, is more sadness than I can handle. 1:20 p.m. It's clear, Grace, by the time I don't get far with writing in the morning. I tried. I'm determined to finish and publish this today, but I can't write when the lights are still off in my head. Sometimes, Grace, my consciousness wakes up, but my body doesn't. I'm not talking about sleep paralysis, although I have experienced that as well. In those cases, my eyes were open, but I couldn't move my body no matter how hard I tried. I could feel it, but not move it. It's a horrifying experience, especially the first time, if you never had heard of the condition. Luckily, it only happened to me a few times. I hope it never happens to you, Grace. My situation now is, my mind, wakes up, I feel my body, and I can move it, but it feels like it wants to stay asleep, like it's not ready for me yet. Sometimes I'll move a toe or something to check there's no paralysis, but if my eyes are still closed, then I know I'm not in that state. The problem then, Grace, is time / incentive. Time is an issue because I'm not sleeping, because I'm not interested in lying in bed for 2 hours while my body finishes sleeping or whatever it's doing. I've learned if I turn on a podcast, I can stay in this half asleep mode and pay attention to the narrative. However, if I'm in writing mode like I am now, thinking about you in this letter day in and day out, I'm not interested in hearing other people's story on podcasts or wherever. I want to get up and write my own and finally find / meet you. I can force myself to wake up if needed. A cold shower and a walk to 7-Eleven for coffee will wake my body up, but not my mind. I still feel sluggish in the head. Or maybe I'm just dumb. The alternate solution, incentive, is the issue, I think, Grace. When I wrote the movie ideas, I had an incentive. My logic was either I would get noticed for them or for something else I wrote. At the time, I felt I needed to earn an income just in case the CPP wasn't approved. Although I was living on provincial disability, which is the same amount, it never felt permanent, like the government could end it at any time. I was scared and believed I needed backup. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, scrolled too far. I'm not editing these audio recordings, Grace, as you could probably tell, because I can only really do it once, so deal with it. I was scared and believed I need backup. Now I'm not scared, but I lost the incentive. This letter to you, Grace, will not get noticed because nobody knows who you are, and I can't attract readers with it. It's only interesting for me now, and for you in the future. I suspect anyone reading this would assume it's just a joke or a writing exercise. It is not. One day, Grace, we'll meet and get to know each other, probably like normal people. However, if we meet and I feel you are my Grace, I'll send you all of these letters unedited before we even start. It's your choice to read or ignore. I don't care, but I'll assume the Grace I know would at least skim these letters. Or if you're a lazy Grace, you can listen. In fact, I would suggest audio over my written words as I'm writing. Like I'm talking to an old friend anyway. In addition, you can hear the tone of my voice and see what level of a jerk I am or not. Either way, the only way I'll take down these letters is if you ask me and at the time I agree. Fair warning, I may not agree. I may fall in love with these letters as much as I have with you, sight unseen. I was wondering the other day if Rob will take his site down once he's out of his situation. I suspect he wouldn't want his employer to know he was homeless and will remove the site to be safe. Unfortunately, it will mean Rob's story is lost, which saddens me, as I believe the more honest a life is shared, the more impact it has on others. Also, there'd be no reason in my mind for you not to want these letters shared. Embarrassment is the only reason to remove them, and I'm not embarrassed, so you shouldn't be either. End of speech. And if you're looking at the picture, that is a real picture of me. On a side note, I asked Rob about the noise, and he says he's acclimatized to it. I wish I could. Maybe I'll ask him about his YouTube account and his plan for it once he's working. The first time I wrote you, Grace, was on a Sunday like today. Although I've only been focused on these letters and not stand-up this past week, I haven't forgotten the plan. And since the open mic is at 4 p.m., I think I'll end this letter short today and attend. I'm not planning on putting my name in the hat. I'll need to observe first, get a feel for the place. I know that sounds like an excuse, but thanks for listening, Grace. David.